All right. The Miami Heat are back in action tonight, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. How you doing, my friend? You doing good?
Good. Is this Wi-Fi better than the last time?
Slightly better, but you're home, right? So
I
you
am
should be
home.
slightly better,
Yeah,
right?
I'm home, thankfully.
How you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good. It's been a really good trip for the Heat. I mean, to
Yeah.
start this stretch of 9 of 10 on the road, 3-0. You could say what you want about the opponents. They haven't been the best opponents, but they take care of business on the road. A road win is a road win. It's been a really encouraging week and a half for the
Better
team.
than digging yourself in a hole that you got to climb out of.
Exactly. Like last season.
And that's to me, I talked about this yesterday. I credited the Heat and the Panthers because the Panthers are 9-4-1, and both of these teams had to dig themselves out of a hole to sneak into the playoffs, and then they made their magical runs.
Yeah.
But you know that shit ain't sustainable. So, and we talk about teams that we talk about, especially the Heat, that and basketball in general. Like, people don't take the regular season that serious, and it's nice to see them taking it serious and winning. Now, let's get to the shocker now here. Okay, let's get to the shocking shit that's going on with the Miami Heat, and I'm going to leave you floored with a couple of these conversations we're about to have here, because I'm sure you did not
I
listen
feel,
to my segment yesterday on
yeah.
this. Duncan Robinson is Goran Dragic. And what I mean by that is, do you remember when we first saw the Goran Dragic contract? We said, "Oh my God, what the hell is this? How are
Yeah.
you paying him this kind of money? What are you guys, out of your mind?" And then 2 years later, the whole market reset, and Goran was playing well, and then we're all looking at each other, going, "Hey, you know that Goran Dragic contract? That shit is a bargain. You just that shit is a the Heat were ahead of it." Well, guess what's going on with Duncan Robinson now that he is no longer just a shooter, now that he is starting to help you out in all kinds of areas. What do you say about his $18 million salary?
Not
Does it
bad.
bargain now?
I don't know if it's a bargain, but it doesn't definitely does not look as bad as it did a few years ago or even last season. Credit to Duncan.
Ron
Look,
Dragic.
yeah,
Very Ron Dragic.
credit to Duncan. He wasn't playing. He lost his spot in the rotation, lost his starting job to Max Strus. Went to work, got better, and you're seeing his work pay off this year. I mean, it's honestly one of the most shocking developments, surprising developments, biggest developments of this season is that Duncan now
Last season.
starting
The
last season, but even to this
Give him
extent,
credit. He did it last year.
no, he did, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it
But
started last year. Give
but
him
but
love.
this year it's at another level. I mean, it's consistently he's taking guys off the dribble. It's not he's always been a good cutter. He's always been a good finisher on the basket because of his size. But the fact that with his handle now, his handle is so much improved. The two moves he made in San Antonio were the two of the best moves I've ever seen him make. The obviously the Smitty on the baseline with Wemby, and then the step back James Harden three he took in the corner. Just really, really, good stuff from Duncan. They need it. He's one of the most important players on the team because they need his shooting. There's not that much shooting on this roster, especially with Hero out. And shooting threes at 35%, not great by his standards, but it's everything else he's doing now. His passing, his attacking, the space he creates. That's been really important.
Brother, if you don't think his contract's a bargain, he can get traded now in a heartbeat now. In a heartbeat, somebody will take that contract. Okay? That's kudos to him.
Yeah,
Now,
kudos for sure.
you're sitting down, right? You're sitting down.
Yes.
Okay. So 3 years ago, he averaged 18.7. Then he averaged 19.1, and then
Damn.
20.4. And so he kind of stayed within that point and a half
Yeah.
range. Last three games. Now, slow down here. Okay. 24,
That's
26.
4 games. 4 games. Right. Pretty much 4. The
No,
triple
last
double.
is where I think he's
Okay.
really is what my point is where I'm getting at.
Okay.
Still too early to say it because I need to see it for months now, not for a couple of games. But I'm watching a guy that wants to impose his offensive will on teams. That's what I'm watching with Bam now, the last couple of games. Again, I'm not trying to I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm the guy that's called him a super role player throughout his career.
Say it, Big O, superstar. Say
Starting to play like
it.
a franchise player, like
Yeah.
like a superstar, like a guy that wants to impose his will. Now, the 24, 26, and 30 that I've got in the last 3 games, I need to see this on an every night basis. Because a team like this, with Jimmy and Lowry, they need a guy to be a force like this every night because Jimmy has needed a star. So has Bam woken up? Is this just an aberration like he's done in the past? That it's a couple games and then he goes back to being the guy that kind of fills the role again instead of being the guy? Because that's what I've witnessed the last couple of games. A man that wants to impose his will. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I've always thought a little more highly of Bam than you.
Of
Um,
course. Most people do.
which yes, which I understand where you're coming from. As to your point, I think both things can be true, as Eric Spoelstra is known to say. Um, I think I think some of it is because Tyler Hero's out, right? And Bam needs to score more. I think that's part of it. I think he's also improved his offensive game like he has the past few seasons. He's getting to the free throw line more, which is really big for him. He's averaging a career high in free throw attempts. That those are easy. He's an 80% free throw shooter. If he gets
Yeah.
to the line 2 or 3 more times a game, that's pretty much 2 points more. He averages a game. That's important for a team that plays a lot of close games. But I will caution you with this: he still doesn't get to the rim that much
I
for a
know.
big man.
I know.
A lot of his shots are mid-range shots. He's
I
become
know.
a more efficient mid-range shooter, but there's gonna be when you depend so much on the mid-range, there's gonna be times in the regular season, just like last year, where he doesn't hit that mid-range shot as much, and he's gonna go through a little bit of a shooting slump when you rely so much on mid-range, and that's when it looks like, oh, he's being passive, he's not attacking because it's highlighted more that he's taking that little mid-range shot instead of attacking the basket. So yes, he is playing a lot better. The mid-range shot's going in right now, but that's the only thing I would say is when you rely so much on that mid-range 2 point jumper, you're gonna go through droughts in the regular season. But it is encouraging that he's getting to the line more. He's rebounding better, and I don't even know. This is the more surprising thing to me. He's becoming a better defender, which I didn't think he could become a better defender. He's
He is
becoming a
good.
better
Yeah.
rim protector.
Yeah.
Just he is taking another leap. Now, the only thing I would caution is the mid-range shot. That's the thing. That's the thing that it's probably going to
Shit,
go cold.
the 3 point to his game, dude.
Yes, eventually
He
he
has
will. Eventually
he
he
has,
will.
man.
Yeah,
That's the part that pisses me off most about Bam. It's not like he lacks the talent or lacks the stroke or lacks the technique or none of that, bro. This guy doesn't lack a damn thing.
no,
Nothing. The Lord blessed him with everything he needs. All he needs is the will, like what I saw from Duncan, that will, that drive, that need, that want to be great and want the ball and be selfish, bro. I need Bam to be a little bit more of a son of a bitch. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what I loved about Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning was just not going to be denied, and he had an attitude about it. You know what I mean? And he demanded the ball, and he wanted the ball in those big moments. And Bam has way more athletic ability than Alonzo. Alonzo was
for
more of
sure.
a Alonzo had to work a hell of a lot more on his game to be
Yeah,
an offensive player than Bam ever has to, bro. Bam has way more natural fluid ability than Zoe does. And so that's where, to me, that's what fuels me more about my criticism for Bam because he has it.
you see it. You see it. Yeah,
It's
I
there.
think you're seeing that a little bit more this year. I mean, defensively, I feel like he's always had that. He always wants the matchup of like guarding the best perimeter guy. He never shies away from that. Offensively, he's being more aggressive. Like again, he's drawing more free throws, which is big. So yeah, I think he's taking another leap. I honestly think he's a top 15 player in the NBA already. Two-way player, not just taking offense into account. Two-way player, total package. I think he's a top 15 guy. I think he's gonna be in the running for an All NBA spot. I mean, I don't know if there's 3 centers better than him in the league. So
Not
credit
no. Two, you can argue
two for sure. Yeah, two
Jovic
for sure.
and Embiid are going to always be ahead of him.
Yeah, but he's gonna be there for that third spot. He's gonna be one of those 2 or 3 guys, and fighting for that spot that's gonna be in the running. So yeah, I think Bam. This is big for the Heat. The one thing that's been the most encouraging thing for me with the Heat so far, and it's early, is that they needed internal improvement. They didn't make any big additions, right? And it seems like everybody has gotten better. Bam,
Oh, they
Tyler,
did.
Haywood
Yeah.
Highsmith, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
Then Jaime Jaquez I know he wasn't on the team last year, but he's an upgrade, right? From other bench guys you had last year. They've all become better players, and that's a credit to each individual player and also the player development staff, like just the coaching staff of working with these guys and continuing to add to their games.
Yeah, and remember the Heat they haven't been healthy yet.
No,
Have yet to field a healthy team. And right now, last night, the other night, they played without Lowry, who, by the way, was phenomenal the other night. He actually had a great night the other night. And then you're playing without Caleb, and you're playing without Tyler. So you're missing some big guns
yeah,
right now on the team, and you're doing all right now. Now after that rocky start, you now have won 4 in a row, right? Is it 4 in a row?
5 in a row.
5 in a row. 5 in a row.
Yeah,
You know, things are looking much better right now. If you can get healthy, and then we're gonna remember. I told you at the beginning of the year, I don't think they're going to miss the points they lost from the two guys. The only thing I'm concerned about was the ball handling and the creation, because behind Lowry there was obviously a question mark. Is it Drew Smith? Then how much does Tyler have to
yeah.
carry, and Bam and all that kind of stuff? Because that's the one thing that I think you're missing in the point guard part. With Gabe, the ball handling part. But I think you'll replace the Struce and the Gabe points from everybody else that you have because of what you've just talked about. People improving and the Jaime Jaquez.
Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah,
And
which
also, and give credit to Drew Smith. Like Drew Smith has, I didn't, I think a lot of us when he got signed to that standard contract, we were like, why? I guess we understood because of they were thin at point guard, like you said, they needed ball handlers, but he's been solid. Averaging the third most deflections in the NBA. He's shooting over 40% on threes. He's playing important fourth quarter minutes on this trip with Hero out, and he's been reliable. So he's another guy that he's been around for the last few years on a two-way, off a two-way. Now he's on the standard roster getting consistent playing time because they're injured, and he's given them good minutes. So credit to him as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, listen, they find guys and they know how to develop people, and obviously that is a reason why they're constantly on top. Um, Caleb, how far is he from returning?
That's the big mystery. I've talked with him, spoken with him a few times over the last few weeks, just kind of in the locker room, not recording anything, just seeing how he's feeling. He's like, I'm feeling better, I'm close, and he's been after we go in there after practices, after shoot arounds, and he's putting up shots. He's not participating in the shoot arounds, being held to the side, but he's putting up shots after and kind of running around and all that after the session's done. So he's active, but it seems like they really want to get him as close to 100% as possible. He played that one game in the opener, and we both saw Big O. He did not look like himself at all, at all. And they're winning right now, so why rush it, right? So I think that's kind of the thinking right now. Caleb is not like missing games. If it was up to him, he wouldn't have missed any time. He would have just kept playing. He is not happy he's having to miss time, but you want him right for when it matters most. You don't want this lingering all season, and I think that's the approach they're taking right now.
We're missing anybody today? Anybody going to take it off today?
As of right now, it doesn't seem like that. It looks like the usual guys that are out. Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, two-way guys. But it looks like the other guys will be available. We'll see if that changes. Josh Richardson is probable with back spasms. That's kind of been going on now for the past few days. But he's been able to play through it the last 2 games. So I would imagine that he'll play again tonight.
Jaquez, what'd you think the other night in the San Antonio game?
Just continues to just be solid. Like, he's had some he's had great moments, but the other game, most of the game's just been solid. Like, doesn't make many mistakes for a rookie. Good on much better defender. I think that's the thing that stood out the most is he's a much better defender. Yeah,
Bodies.
but still, you wonder, like, he has the body, but does he have like the lateral quickness to stay in front of guys? He's guarding the best players on other teams, and he's staying in front of them, making it tough on them. Maybe he doesn't always get a stop, but he's always right there. So that's been one of the most impressive things.
Yeah.
And then offensively, they're running offense to him in the post a lot of times. Like for a rookie, I know he's 22 years old, but still impressive. The one thing is the 3-point shot, right? That's the one thing that he'll have to continue to develop. But this coaching staff has proven that they could make guys, better 3-point shooters. Look at Caleb Martin. He was like a 20-something% 3-point shooter before he got to the Heat. I think he shot like 60% on threes in the Eastern Conference Finals last season. So
yeah.
I would imagine Jaime Jaquez, give him a year or two, he'll be a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, dude. And he has the work ethic, so
yeah.
he'll be fine. They'll figure it out. What do you got going on in the Herald so folks can check you out?
Yeah, yesterday I posted 10 observations from the first 10 games of the season. A lot of the things we just spoke about, just kind of going into detail about that stuff. Duncan Robinson's, growth, Bam Adebayo's best career start. Like he's off to one of the best seasons, or the best season of his career. Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry's usage rates going down a little bit to start this season, while Bam and Tyler's usage rates go up. So just different things that I've noticed in the first 10 games. So check that out. And then later today, I'll have actually something on Drew Smith, who we just spoke about. Been impressive. Again, he's not in the rotation probably if the team's healthy, but he's proven to be a good, reliable depth piece for them now at this point of the early on, when he's been needed. So I'll have that up later on today before the game against the Hornets.
It's a long-ass season. You'll get plenty of play time because people will miss. That's just the way it is, bro.
Yep.
Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. Subscribe there to the Miami Herald. Catch his work there. We will catch up with you on Friday, my friend. Thank you for taking some time.
Of course, Big O. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Baptist Health of South Florida. And when we talk about Baptist Health, folks, the staff at Baptist Health, orthopedic care is comprised of highly specialized, board-certified, and fellowship-trained orthopedic physicians, supported by advanced practice providers and athletic trainers, all of whom play a vital role in the patient's experience. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has locations from Monroe to Palm Beach County.